Right, hello people. It's been a very long time since I've done one of these types of videos. Boxing news, recap and reaction. We're going to do it in a bit of a different way. I'm just going to pull up boxing scene and we're going to go through some of the stories on there. Kind of similar to like videos you see on Ale Oladipo's channel. We just kind of pulls up boxing scene and talks about what's going on. I have made boxing news videos, of course, but they're more about individual topics. But today we're going to get into some of the news in the world of boxing. Right, first news story. Vergil Ortiz sues Golden Boy for contract breach over unraveling Ennis negotiations. Let's get into this. Right, so from my understanding, obviously, we saw late last year, Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz fought in very close proximity to each other. Forget the name of the guy Boots Ennis fought. Vergil Ortiz took on Erickson Lubin and got a very good win inside 2 rounds. Boots Ennis got his win inside 1 round. And from there, it's kind of seen as that's the fight that's next. Should be very easy to make with Eddie Hearn, Boots' promoter, being with Matchroom Boxing, who are partners with DAZN. That's their broadcaster. And Vergil Ortiz being with Oscar De La Hoya, who is with Golden Boy Promotions, who are also their broadcaster is DAZN. It was seen as a very easy fight to be made. They have worked together in the past. But alas, that fight has not taken place, nor has been officially announced yet. I was hearing talks of March was the date that they wanted. But about this kind of whole lawsuit thing, right, it's confusing. What I've heard is Vergil Ortiz and more so his team have wanted him to maybe step in a different direction to the Boots Ennis fight. That's in the plans, but it isn't right now. They would prefer him to take on the likes of Errol Spence in Texas, which would be a pretty big fight, commercially, right? But DAZN are very heavily pushing for this Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz fight. And so with Golden Boy's broadcasting deal with DAZN reportedly is nearing its end or is at the end. Part of the stipulations for DAZN renewing their deal with Golden Boy would be get this Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz fight over the line. So what I've heard is that kind of Oscar De La Hoya has been negotiating the Boots Ennis fight behind the back of Vergil Ortiz and Vergil Ortiz's team. So yeah, he's kind of gone behind the back of the team and Vergil Ortiz, and has been negotiating the fight while they want to go in a different direction. Now, what I kind of want to know is what does Vergil Ortiz want in this whole situation? He's suing Golden Boy, but what fight does he want, right? I assume he's going with the side of his team. That's why he's suing Golden Boy. Yeah, it's a whole shitstorm. I think he wants out of his contract, obviously, if he's suing them. Yeah, man, I don't know. Golden Boy's been good for Vergil Ortiz over the years. Like, he's done phenomenally well. It is very I don't know if it's telling or not. I've never been the biggest fan of Oscar De La Hoya. I'll always give him his flowers as a fighter. I think he was fucking incredible. But it was like Ryan Garcia's relationship with him, Canelo's relationship, and now Vergil Ortiz. It's kind of, I don't know if it's telling or not for how he conducts his business. Let's hope it gets sorted out in some way where Vergil Ortiz can stay active at least. A lot of the times, this can keep fighters out of the ring for a year, maybe even 2 years. Let's hope it gets it definitively gets resolved at least anyway. Moving on, next story. Who will Saul Canelo Alvarez face in his September comeback fight? Right, yeah. It was announced the other day that Canelo will be coming back in September as we expected. May did seem a bit soon. I think he had a elbow surgery, right? Turkey Al-Sheikh announced in a video with Canelo that his next fight is going to be in September. I would have to assume he's going to face the winner of Hamza Shiraz and Christian Mbili for the WBC, I believe. I'd assume that would be the fight. It was kind of seen as Hamza Shiraz was going to fight the winner of Crawford Canelo. And yeah, I'd say that's probably going to be the fight. And who would I have winning that? I've rated Shiraz very, very highly over the years. He was pretty much my top UK prospect for as long as he was a prospect. Canelo, I think he that was a good version of him in the Crawford fight. I just simply think it was not a good style matchup for him. At the end of the day, he has declined. We saw Hamza Sheeraz start well against Carlos Adames, slow down, get very tentative. We saw Carlos Adames come forward, pressure fighting like Canelo does, but with very good head movement, which kind of allowed him to close the distance on the long reach of Adames. Canelo at this point in his career doesn't have the urgency nor the foot speed to quickly close the distance and all the head movement to help him with that. So I'd have to go Sheeraz, if I'm being completely honest, just keeping him at long range. Yeah, Canelo hasn't got the urgency. Simply hasn't got the urgency. Sheeraz does well at a slow pace. So, I'd have to go Hamza Sheeraz to beat Canelo. Stop him? No. Win? Yeah, I think he'd be very awkward for Canelo. He has got a long body on him. Canelo can still dish out a good body shot. It's an interesting fight. I'd love to see that, actually. I think that's a great fight. Moving on, next story. Hamza Sheeraz, Diego Pacheco, granted extension by the WBO. I don't think that's the fight that's going to happen. I don't want to see that fight, really. I wasn't impressed by Diego Pacheco. I don't think that's much of a fight. But that would be for the WBO. I'd prefer the Christian Mbili fight, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't know this fight actually took place. I thought this was taking place tomorrow. But we had Nikita Tszyu versus Michael Zarafa. It ended in a no contest. I'm not completely sure why. Zarafa repeatedly reported to the doctor that he could not see. Based on these reports, the doctor advised the fight to be stopped, and the referee, following advice, had no choice but to wear the fight off. I wouldn't have a fucking clue. I know there's a bit of bad blood in this matchup. I haven't seen much of Nikita Tszyu's career. I know he's been very entertaining. I know he's a good prospect. Been more of a fan of his brother. Been following his brother more, Tim. One of my favorite fighters. But I don't know what happened there. Not a great result for either man, obviously. But yeah, apparently he's been accused of quitting by Nikita Tszyu. Maybe they run it back, maybe they move on, but yeah, who knows? Next story. Ben Shalom's Boxer are set to announce a new pay-per-view platform as their 2026 lineup takes shape. I have not a fucking clue in the world what they're going to do. Who the fuck are they going to put on pay-per-view? Martin Bakole? Is he really a pay-per-view fighter? There's some tasty fights for him, but not really a pay-per-view fighter, right? Adam Azim, definitely not a pay-per-view fighter yet. Definitely not. Yeah, I can't really think of they put on pay-per-view. I like this whole thing they've got going on the BBC, if I'm being honest. It's going against their plans for sure. They definitely wanted Fraser Clark and Callum Smith to win. It's definitely going against the kind of way the fighters they want to build aren't winning. So I don't know what kind of stars they've got to put on pay-per-view. Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, actually, do you know what? Yeah, he depends on the fight though, really, doesn't it? Yeah, they've got Gladys Krause, Chris Eubank Jr., Adam Azim, Lauren Price, Callum Simpson, Chris Billum Smith, Fraser Clark, Richard Briakport, Dan Aziz, Martin Bakole, Jamie TKV, Tyler Denny, Hassan Asim, Jack Massey. Yeah, it ain't a pay-per-view worthy. You're going to have to get Chris Eubank Jr. in a tasty domestic fight, and I don't think there's many out there. Like Hamza Sheeraz, yeah, sure. A Conor Benn fight would never end up on whatever platform they plan on going to. It's weird. It's very weird. I don't know I don't know who they're fucking going to go to. I mean, completely honest with you. Gervonta Davis has next story. Gervonta Davis has got a warrant out for his arrest. Yeah, man, I made a whole video about Gervonta Davis. I'm fucking bored of it. He's a cunt. That's all I've really got to say. He's a cunt. Lays hands on women. It's not a man, in my opinion. Next story. Daniel Dubois unlikely to return in takeover fight. I'm hearing Zhele Zhang. Forget where I heard that from, but that's what I'm hearing. Zhele Zhang is the comeback fight for Daniel Dubois, and that's definitely not a takeover fight. Zhang's a bit long in the tooth, but he's always dangerous. Big puncher. Not the most. That's definitely a kind of. It's not a takeover, but that's definitely a safe comeback fight, right? It's a dangerous, but respectable opponent who you could argue still in the top 10. So it's a respectable top 10 guy with big risk there, but it's also incredibly winnable. Yeah, love it. Love it. I think that's great. I think that'd be a great fight. Yeah, Danny Dubois not the type of guy to ever take over fights. Not when he's got to this world level. Obviously lost to Usyk and then went in against Jarrell Miller. And you've got to say Jarrell Miller at that point in his career was a bit of an unknown, right? In the years previous, having failed the drugs test, you don't kind of know what state he's in at that point. Yeah, the boy takes on all kinds. Got to give him respect for that. Next story, I thought I'm making a whole video about this. Moses Atama injured, Jermaine Franklin bout rescheduled for March 28th. Yeah, devastating news. Devastating news because I had a fight week kind of had a fight week planned to cover this fight. Obviously, I was going to look at do a prospect review on Atama and stuff like that. It's a shame because I was really looking forward to that this month. The good thing is it is rescheduled. I'm hearing about bicep injury. I think that's the injury. The whole card has been rescheduled, which is good because I wanted to see. I would have liked it to still taken place, but it's good that it's still happening at all, right? Obviously, you got Willie Hutchinson versus Ezra Taylor in undercard. That's a great fight. Liam Davis versus Zach Miller. That's also a great fight. Shaquille Thompson versus Brad Pauls. That's not bad. Nathan Heaney versus Jerome Warburton. I mean, there's some decent fights on this undercard. It would have been a shame for it to completely all go to waste and get outright cancelled. Obviously, the main event, Moses Atama, Jermaine Franklin. Moses Atama coming off his win against Dillian White. Jermaine Franklin coming off his very boring and highly controversial win against Ivan Ditchko. But a win nonetheless, and is also a guy who will probably take him rounds. Well, no, not probably, but will hopefully take him rounds, right? You know, his two losses against Dillian White and Anthony Joshua. Majority decision lost to Dillian White, unanimous decision lost to Anthony Joshua. I thought he could have beat Dillian White. And yeah, man. Unfortunate, but just shit happens, doesn't it, man? Shit happens. Next story. F.A. Ajagba versus Charles Martin to headline February 4th Zupa boxing show. Yeah, February 14th, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that fight. F.A. Ajagba's coming off a draw with Martin Bakole, which is a world level kind of fight in which he very easily could have taken the win. You'd think it'd be upwards and onwards for F.A. Ajagba. He was he was ordered to fight Frank Sanchez as a mandatory. Didn't take that fight and instead jumped to Charles Martin, who at his best is probably fringe world level now, is not much other than a tough out for prospects. Yeah, don't love it. Don't love it, to be honest with you. Maybe after the first 2-3 events, I'm going to do a Zuffa boxing review, and we're just going to go over how the shows are and all that. Yes, people, thank you for watching Boxing News Recap and Reaction. I haven't done one of these in a long, long time, and yeah, I enjoy it. Thank you. I want to do some live ones in the future, but yeah, this will do for now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.